I enjoyed the entire process of making this bubu dress and I thought to share it with you guys. But first, let me start by introducing myself. Hi, my name is Lilian of Lilian Fashion Lounge, and in this channel, I talk about anything fashion, pattern drafting, tutorials, and many more. You are highly welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. So, let's get started. So these are the materials that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this Ankara print, and I'm also going to be using this Ofi to make this dress, and I'm also going to be using a bias to finish the neck and the sleeve of this dress. So the first thing that we are going to do is to spread our fabric, and we are going to divide our fabric into four as seen. In order for you not to have any seam at the shoulder area, I folded it in a way that there will be no seam at the shoulder area. So after doing that, I'm going to measure my neck and my shoulder together. Then from there, I'm going to measure the remaining part of the Ankara. So whatever is remaining, that's what I'm going to be using for my sleeve. So at the tip of the Ankara, I'm also going to measure 10 inches that will act as the sleeve point, the edge of the sleeve. To get our remaining measurements, I'm going to be using my hip for this the remaining part of our measurement. So I'm going to be using my original hip plus 8 inches, and I'm going to be dividing it by 4. So whatever I get is what I'm going to be using for the edge of the bubu and throughout the measurement. So what I got here was 13.5. So I'm going to be measuring 13.5 from the edge upward. I decided to make it 14 just to round up the figure. Now for this style, I was trying to make it to have like a little bit of a curve at the upper part of the hip area. So I'm going to be measuring 13 inches from there. Then I'm going to curve it from the sleeve. As you can see, I'm going to be curving it from the sleeve to the 14 inches. I'm using a curved line. So from there, I'll be cutting a straight line. Now you can decide to use this method, you can decide to use another method, but this is the one I want to use for this bubu, for this particular bubu. So I'm going to be adding my sewing allowance, which is 1/2 inch for this bubu. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out as seen. So now we are done with the side of our bubu. I'm going to move to the neck area. Now for the neck area, because it's not going to be having any zip, I'm going to be making it a little bit wider than the usual. So I'm going to be measuring 3.5 inches. Then I'll mark it. Then I'm going to measure 1 inch. So I'm going to be cutting that out. That will be the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to separate it. Don't forget that there is no cutting at the shoulder area. So I'm just going to separate it in order to cut my front. Now, in order to cut the neckline for my front, so for the front, I'm going to be making it a little bit longer. I'm going to be using 9 inches, 10 inches. So I'm going to be measuring 10 inches here. Then I'm going to be cutting, I'm going to be drawing a V-shaped line with my chalk, my fabric marker. Then I'm going to be cutting it out. So that's that for cutting. So we are going to move to sewing. So before we go to sewing, we are going to first of all place our ashoke material to. Now for this ashoke material, it is very, very wide. It was too wide for me, and one single layer was too small for me. So one layer was too small for me, and 2 layers was too wide. So what I did was I placed the 2, but not just at the edge. I'm going to be showing you in a little while. I placed the ashoke fabric. One was longer than the other, and the other one was shorter on the width part. Yeah, as you can see here, the 2 was too wide for me, as you can see. So what I did was I placed it. Instead of placing it at the edge, I placed it in a little bit inward, so that it is going to give the effect of a smaller part of the ashoke. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be pinning it down so that it won't move. So after sewing it down, I'm going to be placing it on my Ankara fabric. Then I'm going to look for the middle of the ashoke, so that I'll be placing it on the middle of the Ankara fabric, as you can see. Now, if you notice, you see that I placed mine a little bit lower than it should be, but that was what I was going for. You can decide to come up a little, but I was making it a little bit lower. That was how I wanted it to be. So in order to also confirm whether I placed the ashoke at the middle, I'm going to be measuring it. Then after measuring it, if it is okay, I'm going to place it. I'm going to be using my pin to hold it down, just as you can see. So after sewing the ashoke on the Ankara fabric, I'm going to go ahead and trim out the excess thread. Then I'm going to be introducing my bias tape, and this bias tape is very important. It is going to be used to finish the neckline and the sleeve area. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Now this is after sewing it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to sew the sides of the, and you're going to be sewing it on 1/2 inch. Don't forget that what we added was 1/2 inch for the sewing allowance. So whatever you are adding is what you are going to be removing. So what I added was 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to be sewing would be 1/2 inch. So guys, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching to this point. See you in the next one. Bye.